The top Democrat on the House Administration Committee has requested an investigation into the Trump administration's communications with the Library of Congress and its employees. This after the sudden firing of Dr. Carla Hayden, who was in the 9th year of her 10-year term as the Librarian of Congress. I'm going to bring in CBS News Justice Department correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Scott, always good to see you. Catch us up.
Not used to flashpoint issues popping at the Library of Congress.
No, we are not.
But here we are.
These are flashpoint-heavy times.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Dr. Hayden's firing was a surprise to all involved, including her employees, we're told. She was fired in a brief email from the Trump personnel office late Friday. And in the time since, the administration has named Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, to be the acting Librarian of Congress. The issue here, though, is the rationale. There are supporters of this firing. There are detractors. The White House press secretary defended this, saying that Dr. Hayden was pushing a DEI initiative and that she was giving access to children of inappropriate books. I think the critics of this firing would say that's a misunderstanding of how the Library of Congress functions. It's a research library. It's Congress's research arm. It's not the town library down the street where kids go and peruse. What's more, you have to be 18 years old to get a reading card there if you're far enough along in your progress to want a reading card at the Library of Congress. In the meantime, there's an investigation that the Democrats are launching into whether there was inappropriate communication by the executive branch into the Library of Congress. It's a separation of powers issue ready to boil over here.
Right. What are the authorities of the executive branch to fire the Librarian of Congress?
I think they're testing them here, and we'll see if there's legal pushback. We'll see if Dr. Hayden or some surrogate is to file suit to try to challenge this. But this is in line, Major, with other firings that have been tested in the courts. When the Trump administration fired government watchdogs, inspectors general, those who the president appoints have some oversight of and from Congress. This one feels like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
And just to underscore the point you made about children, access to books, this isn't like a reading corner where you can just stroll in, plop down, and pull any book off the shelf. The Library of Congress, if you've been there, and I have many times, I've used it as a research library, doesn't have elaborate security, but it has not insignificant security. Using it is a kind of process. It's not a walk-in, plop down, grab a book deal.
There's also a different dynamic to this library versus any other. In the exhaustiveness of their collection. I mean, they continue to accrue new items every day by the hundreds, if not by the thousands. They are a repository for the copyright system, so people are submitting work as part of the copyright process. So though they may not have hard copies of things available, they have a voluminous collection that would stretch many, many miles if you put the bookshelves side by side.
No doubt.
This is a different type of world.
Before I let you go, there have been significant and restrictive changes to refugee access to this country under the Trump administration until today, when a flight of refugees from South Africa arrived at Dulles International.
It was quite a sight. I was there at the hangar that was used to accept these 59 Afrikaners from South Africa, almost all of them white, many of them small children. They were ushered in for a meeting with a Deputy Secretary of State, a Deputy Department of Homeland Security official. We were not given access to ask them any questions or talk with them, nor were we given the opportunity to ask questions of the Trump administration. But this photo op was provided, and it's a message they're trying to send that the U.S. has done strong vetting, they argue, of these 59 people. They argue that the doors they've closed to other refugees are because of poor vetting by the Biden administration, that just anybody was being let in, is what one Trump administration official said. This group, they say, is narrow, and narrow for a reason. But there's going to be any number of criticisms of this because of the political and the otherwise complexion of these individuals.
And the administration argues that these are refugees because they are being persecuted in their home country, and there is a racial aspect to that persecution. Is there data that backs up that assertion?
The argument they made was that they face, quote, harrowing circumstances and they face death threats. What they discussed today publicly was anecdotal, but I expect the Trump administration is going to get pressed on that, show us more data if we're going to let in more people through this means.
Scott MacFarlane, thank you, sir, as always.